We are the weirdos, mister.
Hi, hello, it's me, Audra, the Messiah of Nonsense, and your unlicensed therapist, and a purveyor of dead television. Depending on what I do today, depends on what it is we're talking about. Also, I'm a terrible news source. Y'all listen, first of all, let's be for real. I am disappointed and sad. I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little bit sad. Y'all know I love the Do We Know Them podcast, and in their recent podcast, Do I Know Them? No. Do I love their content? Yes. Well, here we go. It's around the 9-minute mark when this starts. They're just discussing Denisha Carter, which, by the way, I'm surprised that they don't know this all the way. And maybe a lot of people don't. And again, if you're not on Black Talk, like when I was on TikTok, which again, mama didn't raise no fool, so I'm not going to be downloading any more of it. If you weren't on Black TikTok, you just generally didn't know who Denisha Carter was. I unfollowed her a long time ago because I found out she was a messy bitch. So here we go.
Needless to say, because of her niche, she was the person calling people out, not the person being called out. You know what I mean? She's not an Ashley Trevino or someone that's regularly getting reamed on the internet. So when I saw this, I was a little bit shooketh, a little bit. So what we're gonna see is a man by the name Khalil, who goes by Draft Dodger on TikTok. He does a lot of political TikToks, talking a lot about the state of the world in general, but he's not by any means a liberal. I think that he would actually condemn that. And he was notorious for saying, don't vote for Kamala. You know what I mean? He's very,
but also don't vote for Trump.
Anti-capitalist. Yeah, it's very similar to Hasan Piker's views, where it's left leaning, but also it gets a little bit murky because it's there are people that would rather not vote than...
Listen, I make mistakes too. Everybody makes mistakes. But I do think it's important for you to know who you're talking, especially when you're talking about politics, who you are talking about. The majority of anti-capitalists aren't just left-leaning. A lot of them are leftists. They are not liberal. Liberals are not leftists and leftists are not liberals. It's one of the big issues that we have with being on this side of the fence and why there are so many divides within the more leftist sphere. The divide is that a lot of liberals are still, they're just conservative light. You know what I mean? That's all. They're just conservative light. They either do not want to or have not unpacked a lot of different things that make them essentially conservative light. It was causing a lot of beef, and leftists understand a lot of things about the system. They want to break it. We want to break it and rebuild it to something that is fair and just for all of the people. We believe in things like a universal income, everybody should get an income because we don't ask to be born, right? So why am I forced to work? Now, I know that somebody's going to come around here and be like, you lazy. Listen.
I mean, that's cool and all, but no one asked.
Y'all want people to have children, but why would I bring someone into this world so that they could be a part of the capitalist machine? It's not like I'm very super wealthy and they can just enjoy life. There was a comment on my Robbie Christie video, I believe, where somebody was basically talking about how they've reached a certain stage, they're in their 40s and they're I'm having a harder time with work. And I'm yes, because honestly, by the time you get here, you start asking yourself the question and looking around and being this isn't how we were meant to live. We were not meant to live like this. I can't stress it enough. We were not meant to live in a world where we just we're forcefully, we have to get up every single day to go to jobs that most of us don't like, that for not everybody, but for the majority of us aren't really doing anything to help or save the world. In fact, a lot of the jobs we have are just making the world worse in a lot of different ways, whether it's pollution, there's just a lot of things. Technology was literally supposed to make things better, but billionaires ruin that. So instead of us getting to enjoy ourselves and have a universal income and for artists to be artists and enjoy our lives, we're now stuck in this capitalist hellscape where you have to be born and you have to earn your living, which is a really weird thing to say.
That's weird.
Maybe I am too leftist for some people, but why am I earning a living? I didn't even ask to be here, bitch, and now here I am.
I'm here against my will too, just as you are.
So that part alone, and Jesse, first of all, the quotes on left leaning, not a fan. I love them though. I love them. I have to keep saying that because I really love them. But people are leftist or the liberals, and the leftists tend to comprise mostly of communists, socialists, Marxists. That's what you have on this side. And liberals are just let gay people be gay or whatever, but also I should still get to be a white lady and not be bothered. And then the black liberal is like, no, but like, still pull your pants up, boy. Latino liberals are like, your name is Joe now, not Jose. That's what we're trying to explain. Yeah, and riots, protests, and unions are the reason we don't have to work as children. Exactly. And all of that's being stripped away, by the way. They're trying to strip all of that away from us so that you just work until you die. Respectability politics as well. Thank you. Liberals are centrist at best. And I'm throwing in a little bit about like different communities because I interact with people of different, and we all talk about this stuff. So like, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there before we move a little bit further into this. I feel like liberals are still trying to make human rights happen in our current system, just fixed up. Yes. Liberals feel very much like status quo in a lot of ways. Liberals are essentially either trying to fit with the white image or see the privilege they achieve over the needs of the many. Yes. They do believe in your right, like all of our gay right, they believe in all of that, right? But also respectability politics is a big part of it. And it's one of the reasons why like leftists have a lot of problems with Democrats and how they behave, because even right now they're talking about decorum and like, fuck decorum. Fuck decorum. Decorum is not winning us anything. We're not winning awards with decorum. We're not helping people. We're not stopping things by following the rules. Sorry.
Vote for either one of them because both of them do have bad things about them. But at the same time, now Trump is president. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot. Like, it's a lot there that I...
But also, Hasan did not say that. So the thing is, when we are discussing things like voting, the US is a two-party system. Period. The end. Occasionally, a Ross Perot shows up. The big issue, I'm gonna like slide into my little bitty politics girly bag. It's not very big, okay? It's a small bag. The big issue with having even a third party is that a lot of people don't think about it until elections. So 2028, once again, we're gonna see this happen. The options are gonna pop up, hopefully. And what's going to happen is these people turn around and they're going to go, these options suck. We should have so-and-so. And it's like, babes, it's too late. If you want a third party option right now, we're already actually behind the ball. But like right now, you and everybody, you need to start galvanizing, getting people together, doing all of the work to rise up your third party and get a candidate and get money. Like they need to be a viable option today. You need to start getting everything together today so that when the time for like running and all of that comes through, you have your third party candidate, you have money to back them, you have people who want to vote for them. You cannot wait until you see your options and then be like, don't like it, and then choose not to vote. What people like this creator that they're talking about, I've seen him before, he's messy too. Like all these people are messy. And Hasan very much talk about is like, they don't want to have to vote for the lesser of two evils. That's just what we are faced with. Hasan has said that multiple times. Hasan did in fact vote for Harris.
First of all, no, I will never vote for a Republican. Did I forget the president? No, I did not forget the president. I voted for the president. I'm just not telling you who I voted for. I am not going to influence your opinion in any direction unless it is to vote por Trump, in which case I will tell you not to do it.
And they've spent so much money making sure that it's a two-party system. This is why a lot of things don't get accomplished between decorum with the Democrats and all the bullshit that like these people should not be able to have this as a job. It was never intended as a job. If you actually go back and look at the shit, like it wasn't supposed to be a job. This was supposed to be a side gig. Like you had a real job and then you side hustled as the government. Go look at it. I didn't make that up. That's why I didn't pay a lot of money. The whole reason for sessions, like that's what you were like doing your shit over here, taking care of your city and like your household and all this shit. And then you show up for session with all the shit that people wanted to vote for.
I personally don't necessarily identify with, but that's his views, just so you know. And it is important because something that's really interesting is that he met Denisha on Raya. Okay. And people have talked about how like kind of funny that is. Like you're anti-capitalist, like
you're paying $50 a month for Raya.
For Raya. And he
So this is where things go awry about anti-capitalists. First of all, and most importantly, yes, Many of us are anti-capitalist, mostly if you want to start breaking it down, it's neoliberal capitalism, which is a big part of the problem, because we're always going to have a system in which we do goods. Bartering really wasn't a thing. We like to think it is, but it just really wasn't. But the current state of capitalism that we are living in right now is quite nightmarish. And the thing is, we live in a capitalist system and must abide by its rules. So you can be anti-capitalist all day, okay? But like, I can't get the majority of my goods and services without paying for them. I don't have a farm where I can, have chickens and eggs. I could actually probably have chickens in my backyard here. Honestly, it's Texas, we're joint. Anyways, the point is, I don't have the means of production to sustain myself and my family. So I do have to go to the store and participate in capitalism, right? Like, I don't have another option. And that's why thievery, you go to jail. Oh, there's a lot of anti-capitalists, right? But we can't just decide to be like, okay, I don't want to participate in capitalism, so I'm going to steal everything. Sounds great in theory, but our reality is like, no, most of us do not want to end up in jail because we will then be forced into slave labor. And I'm not saying that hyperbolically. I'm saying that that is true. Prison is the only slavery that we continue to allow in this country. Legal slavery, I will say that, because being a wage slave is in fact slavery, but we're going to move past that because we are trapped in this system. We are trapped in this system. Him paying for a dating website does not make him like, oh my God, y'all don't understand capitalism, which is fine. You can learn. I learn all the time. I have no problem with it. But like, he chose that app like a lot of people who are online personalities just generally do, because it does get weird when you aren't dating somebody who does this shit. And I mean that in all sincerity. It can get really weird. People kind of don't really get that. Like, people can have money. Like, you don't have a choice. You have to spend money if you're going to date, as a general rule. Like, I don't think that I would be someone that would qualify for Raya. Like, my channel is small enough that who cares? And I would literally never tell anyone I was dating that I do social media, because I don't want them to find out. Like, if they didn't already do social media, I don't want them to come looking for this stuff. Awkward. Because the couple times I did that back in the past, I'm just gonna say, I don't like it when you know too much about me from watching my videos. It's awkward. Also, I forgot. Now you're trying to be cute and repeat some shit back to me that I said in a video. Babes, I didn't know I said it. Side note, conversely, love it when the comments, when people say back what I said, because half the time I didn't know I said that. And I'm like, damn, I'm funny. And it just makes me laugh. I'm like, I'm hilarious.
Values it so much that he refused to like screenshot Raya stuff, because then he would get banned off of it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, like, just, I don't know. Life is full of irony and just like little things that like you may believe one thing, but then actually the way you practice it is different, and
or like
whatever.
how it affects you.
Exactly.
So that, again, girlies, come on in. Come in for class. It looks like I'm also your unlicensed professor. All right. I don't have my doctorate, but this is not irony. We are forced to live in this capitalist society. And the thing is, it doesn't really matter where you go, for the most part. There's still capitalism. America's capitalism is like the capitalism of all capitalism. But the point is, it's like, this is the same thing that has been levied at Hasan multiple times, where they're like, oh, Hasan has a big house and he's a socialist. What does that mean? That's so dumb. But my understanding, again, is that he resides with family members. I don't know if they're in and out or whenever they have space to come and live there, which is a very socialist thing to do. I myself, big house, there's 3 of us in this house. A great way to resist is to have multiple people that you trust and love in the same home so that you can share your resources. That's how you can do these things in a capitalist society. You just find little different ways to resist. And also loves, resting is resisting. I just want you to know that. Resting is resisting. You are resisting by resting and not getting overwhelmed. The disconnect people have with understanding a theory and being able to put it into practice, that's not how it works. This is where we live. And just another, like, a little fun side but relevant note is, like, you can't just make a commune. I mean, you can, but the FBI is going to watch you. I like people who think they got off the grid. You didn't.
So all that being said, they're in similar spheres, although I would say Denisha is more just like a liberal kind of woman who's more just left-leaning and does talk about politics and does talk about things like that on her channel, but they do differ.
No hate, but Denisha is a messy bitch. She's been in a lot of mess.
And like also hers is more like about men and like just like
Exactly.
from more of a feminist standpoint.
I agree. Yeah. So that's the context you need before we get into it. But I will say this isn't about politics. Oh boy, is it not.
Okay.
Because
Okay, so that's it. I just felt like they did miss the mark on understanding politics, Hasan's stance. Hasan doesn't believe those things that you just kind of have to, you really really have to learn to like go listen to what people actually do and say. I kind of wish they're either their researcher or they had done just like a little more like if you were going to bring that up, then bring it up properly or just like don't say it at all. But it's just like really frustrating. I like them a lot, but I do hate when they kind of do these things where they don't really know what they're saying and they didn't really look into it, especially when you're talking about Hasan's beliefs, because Hasan's beliefs are literally out there in your face. And speaking of Hasan, I'm gonna bring this up. Now here's the thing. I need you to understand a couple of things before I even talk about this. One, I do watch Hasan, but two, I have no idea what he's talking about. And not in that like, oh my God, I'm so dumb, I don't understand politics way, but in the, I don't listen to Hasan for the content that he is putting out. I listen to him because of the tenor of his voice, and I like the cadence at which he speaks, which is nice when you're working 12-hour days and you are outside for 6 to 7 of them by yourself. It is quite peaceful. For all I know, he has said that American cheese is the best cheese, in which case, why would you say such a thing? But very briefly, for like literal moments, okay, Hasan was banned. I don't know if y'all know this. So we're gonna go look at it. And I'm not a Hasan Abi like channel like or anything, but I just thought it was funny. I normally don't pay attention to this kind of shit, but I do find this interesting just because of like what's happening in the world. And I can do what I want.
Where are you now? They've taken me out, ladies and gentlemen. It's over. I'm done. A couple days ago, I had a conversation where I was responding to the Republican House of Representatives Speaker, and I said some things. Let's take a look at what I said. Libs of TikTok, of course, posted about it. Here is what Libs of TikTok claimed.
So let me just pause right quick. Do you see what I'm saying about the cadence with which he speaks? Like, and it also tells me when to tune in. So like whatever it is he's saying. This is probably one of the most autistic things about me. There are many people that I watch this way too. There's a lot of people that I watch. I have no idea what you're saying. I'm here to tell you, some of y'all, I've watched your videos, who knows how many times. Like The Right Opinion, Jay Aubrey, like a lot of times, Jay Aubrey will be like, and that's how I know that something is about to come up. They just have these cadences that I'm just like, this is pleasant. I have no idea what's going on. I've been listening to Hasan multiple days in a row at this point. I still don't know what's going on.
I was saying, Hasan Parker just called for violence against a sitting U.S. senator. If you cared about Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott at FBI. This got 17,000 likes. This was on February 28th. Let's take a look at this clip really quickly.
There's about $50 billion estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid, just in fraud alone. No.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott, okay? You wouldn't make Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott, you wouldn't make him a prominent part of the Republican Party. Now, that seems like a wild thing to say. Oh my God. Is this person calling for the death of a U.S. senator? Of course not. I was not calling for the assassination of a U.S. senator. So I went back to figure out the context. Here it is. Let's take a look.
See, this shit right here is why every time I say that I would like, you know, I always have to like, not like in real life, I'm just obviously it's a joke. This is why people do that.
People who are covered by Medicaid now going to potentially lose Medicaid coverage as a result of this?
Yes.
No, look, the White House has made a commitment. The president said over and over and over, we're not going to touch Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid.
Liars.
We've made the same commitment. Now, that said, what we are going to do is go into those programs and carve out the fraud, waste, and abuse and find efficiencies. Couple of examples.
Listen, I don't know a lot about politics, okay? But I just need people to understand that y'all didn't even know what government waste meant until they just started saying it. And y'all heard waste and y'all heard and like you were just like, yeah. But like you are government waste. We are government waste. To billionaires, we are garbage. All they need us to do is like work for horrible wages until we break and die and keep making them cannon fodder for their wars and their factories. Like that's literally it. That's all they want us to do. I don't care what side of the fence you're on at this point, but if you don't see that, I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, nobody came here expecting this, but surprise, bitch. Surprise, surprise.
Examples, there's about $50 billion estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid just in fraud alone. No.
That fraud is not coming from individuals, it's coming from providers. They're not tackling providers. They're not actually going after like false billing. They are trying to cut recipients. If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. The reason why I'm saying if you cared about Medicare or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott is because, and not make him a prominent part of the Republican Party, is because he to this day is still known as committing the largest Medicare fraud in US history. They want to cut SNAP. They want to cut Medicaid. They want to cut the funding of Medicaid. They want to make it harder for people to receive Medicaid. They don't want to actually go after medical providers or the insurance companies or the nursing homes that are lining their pockets with major donations. Those are the people who actually engage in the fraud. It's not your uncle that's like lying about their condition and stealing money from the government by, going to the doctor or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, listen. Oh my God. Listen, I'm getting too excited. This is why I don't do politics, because I get a little like blah, 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 blah. But listen, let me tell you something. The way that at my job, I have like one of them old biddies who does that thing where they're like, I know people who are just sitting home on unemployment and they don't do nothing. And I'm just like, okay, first of all, so what? I'm going to tell you a secret. When people have probably been working the majority of their lives, one of the most stressful and best times of your life is when you lose your job. Because there's the stressful part, right? Where you're like, I don't have any money and like, I'm screwed. But like also there's the time where you're just like, I can rest for a little bit. Like I can actually get some sleep. I can do some of the things around my home I've been meaning to do. There's just like this sense of relief for a little while, especially when employment exists and is done properly. I might give myself a little bit of time to just like chill the fuck out, because I have been working I've been working since I was like 16 years old. I'm gonna be 45 this year. The way that people don't really consider the length of time that people have been working. Anytime I've ever like lost a job due to like layoffs or actually being fired, there has been this weird sense of relief. I'll figure it out later. I'm just gonna chill for a little bit. I'm fucking tired, bro. Like, I'm exhausted. I need to rest. So like, first of all, who cares when so-called people are taking advantage of benefits? It's the same argument people have for unions. I'm in a union. I don't know anybody who actually is doing this that I have seen personally with my own eyes. It's just always anecdotes, but there's always this anecdote of the one person who doesn't do any work and he can't get fired because of the union, which drives me absolutely up the wall, because I'm like, yeah, but guess what? When they tried to back you into a corner, when they tried to like harass you out of your job for unfair and unjust reasons, guess who was there for you? Your fucking union. I don't know what to tell you in that regard. For the like 5 guys at your job or in your company that are using the union to not lose their jobs so they can fuck off. And let me just tell you, side note, that is not your union's fault. That is your management. Your management just doesn't want to do the fucking paperwork it takes to get rid of that person. So it's not the union, babes. The union put all these walls in here and made sure that they couldn't just fire you without just cause. That's the good part. Your management doesn't want to do the paperwork. So please remember that before you start talking about, oh, and they just do it and the union saves their job. No, babes. Your manager is not doing the work and they don't want to. They don't want to. They don't want to do all the work involved in trying to actually, if they really want you to get fired, if they really hate you, then yeah, they're going to do all the work. They're going to do all the paperwork. They're going to hit you up. But let me just tell you, it is your management. They're not doing the work. They're not putting in the paperwork. They're not doing all the things that they need to do to get that person written up and do all of the things so that when they finally are ready to like throw down the hammer, they can get fired. That is the point of having your job protected by a union, so that you can get paid back hours for hours you shouldn't have worked. Every hour we work over 12 hours, we're supposed to be getting paid triple time, babes. We grieve that. We get money. That's the point. Anyways, I got on a pretty intense soapbox. YouTube is not ready for me to do all that, but here we are, channel of whatever the fuck I want.
So obviously I shouldn't have used hyperbolic language, and there's definitely some ownership that I must take. Some apologies there. I should not have said Mike Johnson should kill Rick Scott. I should have simply said Mike Johnson should punish Rick Scott, perhaps with the, maximum punishment, whatever that would be, for defrauding Medicare and Medicaid for over $1.7 billion. Now let's talk about the things that he did in this process, because Rick Scott co-founded the...
So I'm not going to go over every single thing that he talked about because he took accountability. And I bring that up because there's a fuck ton of Hasan haters. I don't really care either way. I like to listen. Again, cadence, delivery brings me joy. I'm going to come down to the end because he's going to do that thing where he explains all of his shit and I don't care. Not in a rude way. I just don't care. When I want to, I'll be like, ooh, that's interesting. I should listen. Most of the time, I'm just listening to the cadence, bro. Anyways, continue.
Comments on Tom Cotton, a sitting U.S. senator, actively urging his constituents to go out and kill peaceful demonstrators who are, dare I say, peacefully demonstrating against a genocide. Well, make no mistake, it's most likely that Asmongold is simply responding to the things that he sees in his chat. Having said that, I wanted you guys to see the full context of the story.
I appreciate that he brought context to it. He was like, hi, context. So then, guess what? All of that happened. He got canceled. He came back. He's back now. He's back. It's over. Really fast. He's unbanned. So he was banned and then he was unbanned. I'm going to be looking at the same thing. So actually, I'm going to leave. The thing is, bro got canceled. Twitch did its ban. This is where I always feel like I have very conflicted feelings about how platforms handle banning or moving people from their platforms, right? There's a part of me that's like, yeah, fuck them. If it's somebody I don't like. And this is always the problem, is if it's somebody you don't fucking like, you're like, yeah, ban that piece of shit. But also you have to recognize that it will come back around to you at some point and you can be a person who's banned. I think my problem with it is that some of these bans always seem very performative. So they can be like, see, we treat our cash cow just like we treat everybody else. We treat the cash cow Hasan just like we treat everyone else. Literally was banned for this long, not even a full day. He just didn't stream yesterday. And then they just looked at the context and they were like, yeah, that's fine. And now he's back making money. It just seems stupid. But yeah, Hasan was banned for 3 seconds for making an inflammatory statement, I would say. And then it was just over. And that's where we are. So the last story of this video is going to be a dark tale. Trigger warnings for all of the things violence against women. And I'm just going to use that as a broad term, violence against women. It's very upsetting. 3 female creators, Imaru, Valkyrie, Cinna, and Emily, 4, were threatened and stalked. And we're going to watch this video again, all of the content warnings for y'all, because this is scary and I don't like it. But we're going to talk about it because of who I am as a person. This is less nonsense and more fright.
Thank you.
So if you don't know, they're Twitch streamers. They are really big Twitch streamers. I've never seen any of them because I'm a small creator. I watch other small creators for the most part. That's my thing. I think that it's important to lift up other smaller creators. They make their money and they don't need me. So and I'm probably not even interested in the things that they do. No hate to them. They're doing a live stream and this is what's happening.
Yes, please.
Oh God.
Oh God, yes, that is. Can I sing for a change? A change for the better, as you would say?
Okay.
And the change would be for her number.
Oh.
If you'd like it, can I get your number?
I don't have a phone.
Wait, put your number in mine.
I don't know how to use a phone. I'm sorry.
Let's just start there. When women and femmes, and for those of you who don't know, femmes is another term that a lot of non-binary people will use, in which they're in their femme mode, but also don't necessarily feel like women, but feminine. So let's just start with that part, okay? Let's just begin with the part that he's trying to get her number and she doesn't want to give it. which is fine. She shouldn't have to give it. No one should have to give their phone number to a strange man that they've just met on the, it looks like Santa Monica Pier. As soon as she said, I don't have a phone, that's your cue to stop. This video is not yet sponsored by White Claw. Please drink responsibly. So you have uncomfortable grin. This is what I have very regularly called the uncomfortable grin. And then we also have this look, which is the, please stop. This is the what the fuck, okay?
Wait. So I'm gonna keep following her.
Huh?
I'm gonna keep following her.
Not another one! No! You're gonna have to get in line. There's too many stalkers!
And then he proceeds to say, I'm gonna keep following her. I'm going to keep following her. No.
Middle finger to my haters.
You're going to leave.
Fuck yeah.
They've made their nose light, as many women and femmes have to do, because we're already afraid of the violence that will be enacted upon us just for not being interested in you.
That's not how you really riz.
Bro, what the fuck?
That's not the riz.
Get behind me! Okay. Oh my god.
Kendrick.
Wait, are we getting churros?
Kendrick, add it into the list.
Thanks for coming in, lady.
Thank you so much.
See you tomorrow, and take care.
Wait, can we get churros or no? Yes, right here. Oh.
You can also get them from the vendors.
The vendors? Ooh, it might be better with the vendors. I didn't see any churro vendors though. Did you?
There is one.
You need, yeah. Do you want some sunglasses?
They're not wrong. Churros are life. Get yourself some churros, girls, because churros, woo, especially when it's made right. Oh, when it's like the right mix of like crispy and soft. Oh, geez, in the middle part that's. I don't normally like food that is squishies. PSA, if anyone ever keeps pushing and harassing or following you for your number or anything else after you told them no, do not be afraid to call attention and loudly announce in front of other people, I do not know you, stay away from me. Yes, very much of the, that's my purse.
I don't know you.
I know it sounds funny. You know, I'm literally not joking, but like that's yelling loud. And a lot of people are hesitant to intervene if they think this is just a couple in an argument or a fight and get caught in the middle. Yes, I have experienced that. I have experienced that where the dynamic of the relationship that I was involved in, dom subtype, where someone thought that it was that maybe I was in trouble. And I was like, no, we're good. But thank you for caring, right? So they understood, like, I'm okay, but I appreciate you for caring.
You like these? Incognito time. Stand behind me. I'm gonna keep following her.
Look at her body language now. Cause like before that, she was having kind of a nice time. Now she's trying to like hide herself. She's obviously really uncomfortable and sad. They're all trying to figure out how to protect this one person because this man is being real creepy.
Yeah. Like,
where's your little Glock? I mean the lighter.
I'll beat him if I have to.
Forgot we're in public.
No, I'll beat him.
Wait, she looks so cool.
I'm turbo chilling.
She's turbo chilling.
Aww.
Wait, you look so cute.
I feel like a grandma.
You look adorable. You would never be able to tell it's her.
Don't worry, drop him that base, we'll take care of it.
And he's still here. He is still here. He has now escalated the situation. He's been told no, and now he's still following them and trying to like aggravate them with his presence. I'm sure in his mind, he doesn't think that that is what he is doing. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to watch this. Like, I'm sure in his mind, he thinks he's just being persistent. Persistence isn't cute if the other person doesn't want you. I just need people to understand that persistence is never going to be cute if the other person is not interested.
Can I be mean to him?
Yeah, you can. You have permission.
Yeah. Only if he hears me.
Well, we try to be nice.
Just look at how the body language changes. They're all just kind of like, what the fuck do we do now? Like, we were having fun, we're streaming, we're just trying to enjoy ourselves. And now we have a stalker who's being weird about this whole thing. I literally can't stress this enough. Just because someone's a public figure does not give you rights to them, period, at all. Zip, zilch, zero rights. Them being a public figures and being public figures doesn't give you rights to them. Are they streaming? Yes. But it's very clear, like them Plus, and I've seen other streamers do this where they've been making efforts to like not include strangers in their stream so people don't have to be on cam in a way that they didn't consent to. It's very clear they are trying to keep it to them. So like the fact that he's still there making them uncomfortable, this is why a lot of people need to learn to go outside and learn about rejection and understand taking it. Just because someone you want doesn't want you doesn't end the world.
I thought he was gonna sing us a little song.
I know, I was excited for him to sing a song.
I
And
feel
then
like
he pulled out a plot twist.
Me and Rosie made eye contact like, what's going on?
Oh, Cammy, you look so cute.
Maybe we should just go.
Oh, yeah, maybe we should.
Yeah.
And now it's like, maybe we should just go. They were having fun, they were enjoying themselves, and now it's ruined. Their good time was ruined by one guy who's being creepy. I can't.
He's he's getting a little closer. That's oh. I mean,
Looks good.
I think we're just gonna go.
Let's go. Oh, no, we're not. No. What's up, bro? Hey, excuse me?
No.
Security?
Emily, no.
Hey,
Stop.
Whoa.
Let's fucking fight right now.
What?
Get away from
Hey, what's going
Security.
He's harassing us.
What's going on? What's going on, man? Right now. Kill you right now. Kill you right now.
I'm so sorry, the chills I have, I'm literally like close to tears right now. If you didn't understand what he said, I will kill you right now. And he's doing this on a live stream. I need people to understand he is doing this while these women are streaming live. They are streaming live to people, and he has the nerve and the gall to be upset. I do believe from what I can hear is that Emily was trying to get him to go and leave them alone, and he has now threatened their lives because they don't want to date him or give him the number. They don't want to entertain him. I literally I don't know how many more times we can tell you that this is the shit we experience on the regular. So many men, oh, just say no. We do. They did. And I know they'd be like, well, she said she didn't have a phone. That's not no. Listen, we can't hard no y'all. Because even when you softly say no, the end result is this. Him following them, continuing to follow them, and then threatening their lives.
Security, please.
Security. Threatening to kill us? Cam.
Security, there's a guy.
And that's it. That's the end. You can hear them at the end, like yelling for security, being like, there's a guy threatening to kill us. What the actual fuck is happening in the world? And with men, this is what we're talking about when we keep saying, like, so many men feel entitled to the woman that they want. Preferences are fine, like whatever, have your preferences, but you feel entitled to the woman you want. You really have to let that one sink in. Just because the woman you want does not want you, it does not give you any rights. She's not a bitch. She's not all these awful things. She just doesn't want to date you. Y'all need to get outside. Y'all need to get some therapy. And you really need to understand that no, in fact, means no. They wouldn't have even had to soft no if they lived in a world where they could just be like, no, thank you. And he would be like, all right, I had to try. And then he turns around and walks off. I'm 44. I have had to experience the constant fear of telling a man no. I don't know what to say about that. And when you look at forums, and I know Reddit is Reddit. Reddit has a lot of interesting places, but like you look and it's like they don't get it. They don't understand that, like, again, just because you want her and she does not want you, it doesn't mean anything. It's not an indictment against you. So y'all know that? It's not an indictment against you just because, like, you shot your shot and she wasn't receptive. It just means, like, that person isn't for you. Because like the amount of movies and films that we have, they show the negative outcome of trying to force someone to love you, trying to force the girl that you want, or in the case of The Craft, the guy that you want to love you. The outcome is never positive. It never goes well. The idea that incels had of assigning women and like all of the, it's like, no, but like, so you would rather be with somebody, quite literally, who hates you just to have someone? Because I'm sure some of them would be like, yeah, that's fine, like whatever, until you're actually in it. And then I promise you, there's only a short period of time before it becomes untenable and unbearable for you to be with someone who cannot stand to be in the same room as you. Maybe just accept no. They did respond. It was from Valkyrie's Twitter, and she said, "We are all okay and have been with police. We decided we are done with the marathon and need time to process. Thank you for all the love and support this past week. We had so much fun and hope you all enjoyed." And what makes this worse is Emmy has had stalkers in the past and has felt unsafe in her home, and this stuff keeps happening. Y'all need to learn to draw lines. Not them, men. You need to draw a line. Like, you can think I'm cute all day long, but that doesn't mean I want to date you. So sorry to end on a bad note, but I'm sure my editor will drop in a cute video or something to cleanse your palate. And always remember that, you know, dating is interesting and it's wild. And just because you got rejected doesn't mean it's over. There's a whole wide world of people out there. You don't have to just settle on the one. And that is it. That is all. Until next time, I am so pretty and so... Let the ball removal begin. Yes! That's how we end that shit. Perfection.